Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to all of you to yet another concept classes for Sociology Optional by Sunya IAS. And friends, today we're going to talk about yet another very important and easy topic, and that is common sense knowledge. Now this common sense knowledge we study in our paper 1, unit 1, and there's a topic called sociology and common sense, okay? And time and again UPSC has been asking questions from this particular topic. So that's why it's very, very important. And there's lots and lots of confusion among the aspirant that what is common sense knowledge and how it is different from sociological knowledge. So I'll be talking in a very brief and simple language today that what is common sense knowledge. So let's start with the session. So first thing first is what is common sense. So if I have to define common sense, okay, I'll simply say that it's a routine knowledge. It's a routine knowledge. Now why it is a routine knowledge? Because it is born out of your experiences. Born out of your experiences that you have, that you come across in your daily activities, in your daily life activities. That is why it is a routine knowledge. Okay, now if this is a common sense, what is sociology? See, sociology is what? It is basically a study of society or social phenomena in a systematic manner. Okay. This is a very simple layman language definition with respect to sociology as well as common sense. Now if you look into the common sense, just to expand whatever I've said, that it's a routine knowledge. So common sense knowledge, which is also known as routine knowledge, which I said that it is born out of your experiences. So it is based on what? This common sense knowledge is based on the hunch or guesswork. Okay, it is also based on individual biasness, prejudices, even superficial interpretation, or you can say observation. Okay, so common sense knowledge basically is based on all these parameters. I'll just give you an example so that you can understand also. So common sense knowledge is always based on your biasness, prejudices. Just to give an example, like I've mentioned here examples of common sense knowledge. You can give an example just like in our society we say that women are bad drivers. Women are bad drivers. Why? Because it is prevalent in the society. Everybody accept the fact because of maybe they had certain kind of an experiences and they kept on passing these beliefs. Okay, because maybe our older generation had this experience that women are very bad drivers or they are mentally not as strong as men. So they kept on passing this information from generation to generation. So over a period of time, everybody develops this common notion or a stereotype. Okay, you can add here one stereotype word as well, that women are bad drivers or women are not mentally strong compared to men. Okay, so this is what common sense knowledge is. Now how it is different from sociological knowledge? Now sociology actually deals with what? It deals with the study of society or social phenomena in a systematic manner. So what happened is that as a sociologist, okay, as a sociologist, they will not accept this knowledge which is prevalent in the society. Okay, what they will do is they will test these knowledge or on the whatever knowledge is there, whatever common sense knowledge is there, they will, these knowledge will serve as a kind of a hypothesis, and sociologists will test all these hypotheses against the, you can say, empirical investigation, whatever facts are there, whether this hypothesis is basically backed up by facts or not. Okay, so that's why sociology debunks or demystifies the common sense knowledge. Debunks or demystifies the common sense knowledge, because they're not going to accept it on the face value. Whatever is prevalent in the society, they're going to conduct an empirical investigation, they're going to collect the facts, and then they're going to test that hypothesis against the whatever facts that are available. And if that facts actually, reinforces that hypothesis, they will retain that hypothesis. And if that fact does not support that hypothesis, they will simply reject that hypothesis. That's why sociologists always, look for any kind of knowledge that is backed up by facts. Okay, so that's why sociology always debunks or demystifies the common sense knowledge. Okay, so this is a basic difference, right? Now let's have a look at some of the, definition by renowned thinkers. So Max Weber basically defines common sense knowledge as a routine knowledge only. Routine knowledge that a person develops of his or her own daily word activities. Daily word activities. Okay. Now what about yet another very renowned sociologist who is also a phenomenologist, okay, Alfred Schutz. Now Alfred Schutz basically defines commonsensical knowledge as something which is, which is organized as a typified stock of taken for granted knowledge. So commonsensical knowledge as per Alfred Schutz is organized, typified stocks of taken for granted. This is taken for granted knowledge, which is usually not questioned. Usually not questioned. Okay, see, it is organized. Okay, it is organized, it is typified. Typified means basically, because Alfred Schutz is a phenomenologist, so basically it's, phenomenologist basically talks about, non-positivist methodology to study society. So basically typification, if you look into, sociology, if you have heard of this terminology, typification means that how the people actually try to develop an understanding of the world based on categorization of various objects. Just like if you see a tree, so everybody will see that thing as a tree only, because they have categorized it as a tree. So it's a kind of a categorization that helps in understanding the word. So it's a stock of taken for granted knowledge, because it is never questioned. Whatever knowledge is there, it is accepted at the face value. Okay, unlike sociologists who will question that whatever knowledge they have, and they'll make a hypothesis and they'll test it against whatever facts that is available. So which is usually not questioned. So this is a kind of a, you can say, definition given by Max Weber and Alfred Schutz. And remember, I'm not quoting and unquoting. Okay, so this is a kind of a generic definition given by Max Weber and Alfred Schutz, right? Now, since I have given you certain examples of commonsensical knowledge, I'll give you more examples so that you can understand. Just like first example I gave you, that women are bad drivers. Okay, or other commonsensical knowledge are women are not mentally as strong as men. Okay, yet another commonsensical knowledge that is prevalent in society is that lower caste people are less intelligent as compared to, upper caste people. There are so many commonsensical knowledge, just like pink is a feminist color. That pink is not, wore by the men. Okay. Then yet another thing is that, alcoholic people or, mentally sick people only commit suicide. And yet another, I think this everybody can connect, is that only academically bright people can clear the UPSC exam. So these are certain commonsensical knowledge that is prevalent in society, and what a sociologist will do is that a sociologist will test all this commonsensical knowledge against the facts that is available. Okay, they will not accept all this knowledge on the face value. Just like suppose if I talk about lower caste people are less intelligent as compared to upper caste people, so they'll take it as a hypothesis, and then they'll start collecting the data, and they'll come to the conclusion whether this actually is supported by facts or not. So that's why generally you will see a question comes that one person common sense is another person's nonsense. Generally a question comes like this, okay, which means that one person's common sense, that when we talk about this person is a, you can say he or she is not a sociologist, he is a common person, and whatever knowledge is prevalent in the society, whatever beliefs and beliefs are there in the prevalent in the society, that person simply accept it on the face value. While this person is a proper sociologist, because for that person this knowledge will not sound very rational because they want to test it. So that's why all this knowledge will sound as a kind of nonsense. Okay, because this person is a sociologist, right? So this is a very basic thing that I was telling you. Next is, let's look into certain features of the common sense. Okay, so these are the features, and trust me, these features are very easy. In case a question come with respect to what are the features of the common sense knowledge, so you can simply jot down all these points and just explain it with various examples. Okay, just like first one is, it is unexamined. Okay, it is unexamined. Common sensical knowledge are unexamined because it is accepted as it is. Okay, there is no empirical investigation. That's what I said when I talk about Alfred Schutz also. He said there's a organized typified stock of taken for granted knowledge which is not questioned at all. So that's why it is unexamined. There is no empirical investigation. It is accepted at the face value. Accepted as face value. Just like we say, UPSC is a very tough examination, so they will not conduct any kind of empirical investigation. They'll simply say that those people who are very bright, academically bright, those people can only crack the UPSC examination. Next is, it is taken for granted. Okay, taken for granted, basically accept it as a face value only. Not try to verify against available facts, right? Just like we say that women are bad drivers, so probably a sociologist, what the sociologist will do, the sociologist will basically talks about the fact that let's have a look at like how many challans are there against the women drivers and how many challans are there against the men drivers. I'm just telling you so that they can easily quantify and come against testify all those hypotheses, right? Next is, it is more of a naturalistic or individualistic view. Just like if I talk about the individualistic view, so for common sense, if you look into the common sense knowledge, for some person they may say that pink is feminist color. Other person may say that pink is unisex color. Okay, so it depends from individual to individual. It's very subjective in nature, plus it is naturalistic. Now if you look into the common sense definition of, or common sense notion of poverty, so every person with a very natural intention, they will say that people are poor. Why? Because they will think that they are lazy, they do not want to work. Okay, all these things will come because people are they do not want to work, they do not want to work hard, they do not want to go to go for better education. This is the common sense notion that is prevalent with respect to the poor people. However, the sociologist will look into a deeper meaning, that why the people are poor, because maybe there are certain structural inequalities that is prevalent in the society. Maybe these poor people, they do not have access to the basic amenities. Okay, so they'll dive into deep and try to come up with a more proper and rational explanation. Okay, sociologists will always look for a rational explanation. They will not accept anything that is prevalent in the society at the face value. They will not accept it. Next is, it is not necessarily universal. Just like common sense knowledge, if you say that in India women, generally there is a common sense perception in India that women should only be restricted to the domestic sphere. But suppose if you go to the Western society, suppose this is India, because India is more of a patriarchal society. Okay, if you go to the Western society where there is more of an egalitarian society, if you look into that perspective, so there men and women, they both have equal responsibility with respect to the domestic course. So from society to society, it differs. The common sense knowledge basically differs. Next is, it may or may not be consistent with the science. Now here also, if you look into the definition, here you can say it may be consistent with the science. Just like you can say that common sense knowledge basically says that do not touch the live naked wire, because you will get a shock, right? Why? Because earlier the person might have tried to touch the live wire and live naked wire, and they might have experienced a kind of a shock. So it is consistent also with the science. And sometimes it may not be consistent with the science, just like you can talk about the lower caste people only are less intelligent as compared to higher caste people. Right? This I'm talking about which may not be consistent. Next is, it's subjective because it differs from person to person. Some person may think that women are less, you can say less intelligent, or they are not mentally strong. Other men may say that no, they are equally competent if you compare them with respect to the men, or they are not even equally competent, they are in fact more competent with respect to the men. Okay, some people may also say that lower caste people may not be, they are not very hardworking, but other person may say that no, they are very hardworking. Okay, so this kind of subjectivity is always there with respect to common sense knowledge. It is often contradictory also. Just like, I'll give an example. Just like because we all have done our schooling, so probably what happens is that in school only we are taught that get a very good marks in 10th and 12th, that will make you very successful. Okay, but this common sense knowledge often changes, okay, when you graduate and everything, because degree won't let you, it won't give you a kind of a license to have a very luxurious life. Okay, degree doesn't put kind of a good food in your plate. So this is kind of a contradiction. Plus again, you can also talk about the fact that there's a kind of a very famous proverb or adage that is out of sight, out of mind. that if you are out of sight, if you're not near a person, that person will basically forget about you. But at the same time, we keep on feeling the fact that, you know, suppose you're very close to your friend and that friend suddenly goes to other places and you start missing that friend. So your heart will grow fonder for him. Okay, you'll start missing your friend. So this goes against the very famous adage or proverb. So this is why it is often contradictory. So this was overall, I was talking about what is common sense knowledge. I also told you a kind of a question that has been asked. You can simply, you know, do a bit of brainstorming. It's very easy. You can give all these examples as well. You can quote certain thinkers who have defined what commonsensical knowledge is, and then I've given you certain features. Now, if you want to know more about with respect to how the sociology and common sense are, compatible with each other, okay, how the sociology and common sense knowledge are mutually exclusive, okay, how they are different from each other, what are the other various thinkers you just like Anthony Giddens, Auguste Comte, Emile Durkheim, Peter Berger, Margaret Mead. All those things, if you want to know, you can join our Sociology Foundation course, where I'll be talking about everything with respect to sociology and common sense in a very detailed manner. Okay, so this is all about, in a very basic manner, what is commonsensical knowledge and its various features. Okay, so thank you and all the best. To make your preparation more comprehensive, join our Sociology Foundation course at Sunya IAS. This course is available both in online as well as in offline mode, where we focus not only in explaining all those sociological jargons concept in easy and simple manner, but there's equal focus on answer writing practice as well. So to join the course, the link have been mentioned in the description box below. Thank you.